John Skogstad won 7 national titles as a senior, but that hardly tells the story of his greatness. Let's just say he was no Johnny-come-lately to the tennis world when he started racking up gold balls.
He was probably one of the best players that I knew playing in Atlanta.
Next to Bitsy, John Skogstad, I would say right at the top as a player.
According to Larry Shippey, who was a guru of all the tennis players in Georgia, he said John Skogstad and Bitsy Grant were the 2 best players by far to ever be in the state of Georgia.
He was a world-class player from the start, winning Orange Bowl titles twice as a junior. He lost 1 match total as a college player playing #1 singles. He even played a few matches on the Pro Tour in the pre-Open era, winning 1 before leaving the tour to become a weekend warrior.
Frankly, had there been open tennis when he was a star in the early 60s, late 60s, I think John could have done very, very well on the international tennis circuit. But at that time, it was amateur tennis and there was no money involved. And he moved to Atlanta and went to work in 1964, 3 years after he came here, with Harry Thompson's company, Conklin Metals Company. And he and Harry became the #1 doubles team in the South.
From the 1960s on, Skogstad played in a rarefied air, spoken of reverently by those who could remember back as far as Bitsy Grant himself. It wasn't that he had shots no one else had. He had shots no one else had even thought of.
Skogstad was probably the most perfected tennis player for his age group.
John was one of the first I ever saw who came up with a topspin backhand. Back in our day, the most backhands were slices and some topspin forehands, and John could just make a tennis ball talk.
If you want to compare him to a baseball player, he'd be the Tom Glavine of the series. He had more spin, more junk, more top, more stuff than anybody you could ever see. And it's incredible the touch that he had, the natural strokes that he had.
He just had all the shots. For someone like me who just tries to hit the ball back, when I heard about all the shots that John had, it was, he was kind of my idol during that time.
The story most associated with Skog, as he was known, was his encounter with the great Arthur Ashe at a tournament, ironically, that he and his longtime doubles partner, Harry Thompson, were promoting.
Somebody fell out of the draw, so John had to play Arthur Ashe first round. Well, he let him know very quickly when he'd already won the first set, it was up the second set. Next thing you know, the match gets away, but he will let the people know he's close to him. Nobody would have come seen the tournament the next day without Arthur Ashe being the draw.
Rumor has it that he looked up in the stands and saw me worried that we were going to lose our top draw, and we had guaranteed them a lot of money, and he lost his concentration and proceeded to lose the next 2 sets.
But the story that might be even more telling recalls a long-forgotten mixed doubles match where Skogstad was again the loser.
And he was playing with a friend of his who was not a great lady player, and I think my partner was, as a lady, was better. And one way or the other, we beat John and his partner. And I heard later that she quit the game of tennis after that, never played another time. And she told people, if I'm playing tennis and I can't win with John Skogstad, I'm not going to play tennis anymore. So that showed what his reputation was and how good he was.
He was an early Alta president and was instrumental in its growth. But forget about desk work. John Skogstad is in the Hall of Fame for his incredible game and his approach.
John never stepped out on the court to play a match that he wasn't 100% sure he was going to win. He just knew he was going to win, and consequently he did 99% of the time.
John Skogstad, a member of the Georgia Tennis Hall of Fame.